it's a funny thing to say, but it can sometimes be really easy to forget that we are alive, you know, and remembering that we are alive can be a really useful doorway into the present moment and maybe even into some gentleness. So just a quick story to frame the practice, and then we'll get into it. Maybe even to frame the day. So in the fellowship program that Nicole and I are both a part of, we had the chance to speak with Joanna Macy, who is one of my all-time heroes. If you don't know, Joanna Macy she's low-key kind of like Mother Teresa to me. you know, uh, she's basically the godmother of the environmental movement, a lifelong activist, an eco-philosopher, a world-renowned author, a deep dharma practitioner, a poet, like a magical human being, you know. I forget like what question she was responding to, but in this conversation, we started to talk about the state of the world, and the conversation got super heavy, super fast. You know, like she painted a very bleak picture. She went on and on about the self-destructive political economy and these multiple overlapping social and ecological crises. She was saying there's a really good chance that we fail at moving from an industrial growth society to a life-sustaining civilization. You know, got really dark. And then in the exact same breath, she said, and I am so excited to be alive. I'm so excited to be alive. Mind you, at the time of that conversation, Joanna Macy was 92 years old and had more energy than my 5-year-old niece. Like the lucidity and love and joy radiating from her presence is profound. So she said, I'm so excited to be alive. And then she went on, and not just me, but every being on every planet, in every plane of existence is that knows about Earth is excited for this moment. Like, this is the time. I lived through most of the 20th century, and this is the moment to be alive. And when she was done, I just couldn't help myself. And I was like, but why? you know, like, why would any being on any plane of existence be excited about what's happening on Earth right now? You know, feels miserable here sometimes. And then she smiled at me like the way an elder would. And she said quite simply and beautifully, because we have a chance to matter. Because we have a chance to matter. Because we have a chance to identify with life itself. Yeah. And as I sat with her words, what I began to see is that another way we might relate to all of the suffering in the world could be to look at what all of that suffering makes more knowable. You know, it's the boundary of suffering that makes freedom more knowable. It's the contracted nature of fear that makes the expansive quality of love more knowable. And it's the forces of a self-destructive political economy or a global pandemic that give us a chance to identify with the thriving of life itself. They make it more knowable and thus give us an opportunity to choose, to be intentional about remembering that we are alive